What's up again, everybody? Today we're talking Everfest because spoiler season is right around the corner. We're closing in on like a few weeks, and so I figured I should make one of these videos because I haven't really done this, I guess this set. I haven't done it for this set, so let's do it for this set. I'm gonna predict things, and in fact, I decided to go with the hottest of takes that I could come up with. So these are 5 hot take predictions that could be right, that may not be right, but could be right. Conceivably, these could be correct. And so I'm really excited and I'm curious if you want to play along. Give me 5 hot take ideas or things that we could conceivably see in the Everfest supplemental set. Things that you think maybe we won't see, but could actually happen. Put that down in the comments below. I'm gonna read all of the comments. I'll leave a comment back to you. I'll just put it that way. Okay, so here we go. These are 5 hot take predictions. Before we start though, if you want to support the channel, like and subscribe. If you enjoy this video, if it brings you some joy on this Friday, then hit the little like button, share it with your friends. Maybe it'll bring them joy, especially if they like flesh and blood. Plus, if you hit the like button, it shares it with other people anyway. So like you're like double sharing a video, and that's what makes you awesome. So here we go. Number 1. I think we're getting a Seer class. I think we're getting a Seer class, and the reason that we're getting a Seer class, I don't have the article printed out anymore. No, I do. No, I had an article. I had the article, the lore article, printed out, and like I highlighted stuff. I was gonna hold it up. It was gonna be a good bit, and it's not here anymore. I think the Seer class is a thing because of the way that it was talked about in the lore article that I did a video on a couple of videos ago. By the way, if you didn't watch that video, I put a lot of time into that one. I hope you enjoyed it if you did watch it. If you didn't, I highly recommend you go watch it because it does tell us a lot about the future of the storyline as far as Tales of Aria is concerned. But because of the way that they talked about classes in general, I really think we are going to see the Seer, and I am super pumped. I love the idea of the Seer. In fact, I think like 2 months ago, or maybe it was a month ago, I pitched the idea of like 5 classes that could come into Flesh and Blood in 2022, and Seer was one of them. And I'm really excited that it could be a thing. It was mentioned in that lore article. I want the Seer to be like super opt based. It's like all based on organizing your deck, or maybe even like peering into the opponent's deck. In fact, that would be the best if it were all about opting on your opponent's deck. That would be so cool. I opt to on your deck, and then I choose to put it to the bottom or the top, and then you're like pitch stacking your opponent's deck, but in the worst way possible. Oh my god, that would be amazing, because that represents a method of control that doesn't exist in the game right now, and that's controlling what your opponent draws off the top. And so yes, it is a defensive minded class, but it does it in a completely unique way. That would be cool. Okay, put that down as number 1. All right, number 2. I'm gonna predict the Fabled. There's like 2 prevailing theories for the Fabled. There's one, probably the more likely one, and that's a landmark Fable around literally the background, the giant circus tent. Okay, that's probably more likely because of the idea of going landmark, and then supplemental set landmark, right? So we had a landmark in Monarch, we had a landmark in Tales of Aria, now we have a landmark to follow that up. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say that it's going to be the gem, the Olin gem. I think they're going to throw us all for a loop, and they're going to be like, look, symmetry's cool, but so is this gem. I think it's going to be this one. Now this, by the way, if you don't know where this is from the Rudy promo kind of thing that Alpha Investments Rudy did, where he sold like a promo version of him and the gems, the 3 gems, but there was also this one grouped up. And so this is going to be, allegedly, this is going to be a card at some point, and I think this could be the time. If it's not this set, it's gonna be weird to be a different set. Though maybe it won't, because if you think about it, like Crucible of War, that gem was the Arknight Shard, which is literally embedded in the chest of Viscerai, so says the lore. And if that's the case, it doesn't necessarily like fit within the theme of Crucible of War, but maybe it does because he's like prepping for war alongside of Chain going to fight Solana. So maybe it does. I don't know. So it would be interesting if it were this, because it makes sense to connect the Olin with, you know, like with the Arya region, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at, and fumbling over my words to say. It connects it to the Arya region by putting it in the supplemental set that connects to Tales of Arya. And then if you go somewhere else in the next set, it doesn't necessarily fit, but maybe they say the world and the fighting in Arya or the unrest in Arya spills over into Mysteria, and we get the gem introduced in a set that's about Mysteria or about Metric, something like that. So maybe that is connected to the other, you know, the future set. But I'm gonna say that it's the gem, the Fable, for this set. All right, prediction number 3. I think, and this is a weird one, I think we're gonna get more Intimidate cards. I know, that's a weird out there prediction. I think we're gonna get more Intimidate cards. Here's the reason why. There are a criminally few amount of Intimidate keyword cards in the game. If you look at, and I think there's a reason behind this. I'll talk about that maybe in this, just a short blurb, but I could talk like a whole video about this. There is a criminally underprinted amount of Intimidate cards, not just in Brute, but in the entire game. If you look at generics, you have generics in this game that have the keyword Dominate on them, which is a keyword that was sort of, I don't want to say like created for Bravo, but it's a keyword that he definitely embraces. And then we look at Brute. And I just want to say, if you go to FabDB, why you should definitely go to FabDB also. Just straight up build your decks on FabDB. But if you go to FabDB and you look at the set, all sets in general, and you type in Intimidate, and you compare the number of cards with Intimidate to the number of cards with Dominate, there is a huge disparity. And it's not even just Dominate. You can even look at, like, okay, the word Phantasm, the keyword Phantasm. There are more cards with Phantasm than there are with Intimidate. And I will say this, I think there's reasoning behind this, and it's smart. The more Intimidate cards you print, well, I'll just put it this way. Intimidate as a keyword is incredibly powerful because you're literally taking a card away that cannot be used in any way, shape, or form on that opposing player's turn, like so as a defense. Dominate gives you an option. Intimidate takes away the options. It limits your options, and that's what makes it really good, and that's why I think they're very careful to print Intimidate as a keyword, and probably, which is probably smart, okay, because Intimidate just inherently is a really, really good keyword for making your opponent block with something else, and just in general is really good. Is it better than Dominate? That's for you to decide. But I do understand that there is a world in which they say it's probably smart for us to not print that many Intimidate cards, but I think we're going to get more, and I think we're going to get it more because I think they want Levia to be better, and I think in general they probably want Brute overall to be better. Why do I think that? I'm soul reading it. That's what I'm doing. I'm soul reading it. I have no intel on this at all. These are all just like straight up hot take predictions, but I think we're going to get more Intimidate keyworded cards because they want Brute to be a little bit better. Just cuz that's what I think. Okay, number 4, and this is a spicy one. Look, we know one of the 3 legendaries that are going to be printed in this set, and it's Arcanite Skullcap. It's a reprint. We know that's going to get reprinted. They showed it in an article. That leaves 2 legendaries. Okay, 2 legendaries. I'm going to predict one legendary, and you're not going to, well, maybe you could guess this, but you're probably not going to guess this. I think they're going to reprint Shiana. I straight up think they're going to reprint Shiana. Why? Why do I think they're going to reprint Shiana? Well, there's this theory going around, and it's not going to be in this video. It's not going to be the last hot take prediction. There's a theory going around that every hero is going to get a specialization card to their name, okay? Every hero gets a specialization. If that's the case, Shiana gets the hugest of buffs. I'm talking like the most massive of buffs. And I'm not saying like she's like tier 1, but I'm saying relative to where she is now, that kind of a jump. A huge buff, okay? Because you're basically just printing Shiana cards if you're printing specializations, which is very smart, because if you like Shiana and if you like other heroes, then you're printing a card pool that can be accessed by Shiana by printing something for everyone, which is really smart, right? Makes sense. But if they do that and Shiana gets like playable, not obviously like tier 1 meta blitz or whatever, but playable, more people would want to play her and can't really access her when crew is out of print, you know, over the next year or so when crew sources really start to dry up. If crew's out of print, and of course crew is also out of print with it, crew U and crew first edition, literally it's going to be like buying her is like buying, I don't know, a couple of Command and Conquers, which I think will be reprinted in this set. Which is crazy, that she's going to get really expensive, and you're not going to be able to find her very often because she's a legendary. It's hard to pull them. So I think they're going to do a Fiendal Spring Tunic thing. I think they're going to print her in, and look at what they did with Spring Tunic. They printed it in Alpha, they printed it in the reprint, and then they printed it in Crew as a supplemental. They could do the same thing here. They printed it in the Alpha, or the first edition, they printed in Unlimited, and then they print in the reprint. I think that could be a thing. And I'm literally tying this prediction to the idea of them printing a specialization for every hero. And if they don't print a specialization for every hero, fine, then this probably won't happen. And that's fine too, because I think she is a fantastic one-off kind of character that like people love and see, and it's one of those like if you like it, then you like it. If you don't, then you probably just don't think about it and you play what you like. So it's very possible that this isn't a thing, but it could be a thing, and I'm here for it because that card's beautiful. All right, last prediction. Are you ready for this one? Here's the last prediction. I think we will get more allies in this set. I think we're going to get more allies in this set. This is the perfect set for allies. Like, literally perfect. Everyone's at a giant carnival. You're at a giant circus. Everything's at a circus. You could have, like, allies in the form of, like, you know, little pets or, like, you know, like circus animals. You could have allies in the form of, like, friends that are going on, like, rides or to attractions with you. You literally just print random people and they could be allies. You could have a full ally suite in this supplemental set that like everyone can access. Heck, this could be what people have been clamoring for. This could be the way to dual class. You put an ally in your deck that is a separate class that has some ability that allows you to use other cards. That is a way for you to dual class to a certain degree. Now, it's not going to be like full-on dual class, but like you could print that, and it makes some sense. When they kill the ally, like in battle, you can't do the whatever thing, right? The other class thing that the ally does. It's something like akin to dual classing, where it reminds you of the other class that you're kind of paired up with, that ally is, but it's not quite. So I could see that being a real thing. This would be a cool thing. Now, of course, we only had Urser and Blasphemet as the other allies in the game. I think we could see more than a demon and a demon. And I think this is a fine set to release them in. And it makes sense too, because it's also in the block of Monarch, right? So we've had mentors, which they could print in this set as well, but I thought this was more spicy, so I picked this one. That we have allies. They could print either of those, and it makes sense because there already are those things in this block of 2 sets plus supplemental. So this is a serious possibility in my mind, and those are my spicy Everfest predictions. Those are the ones that I like looked around in the old brain space. I tinkered around back there. I tried to find something that fit, and something that would be a lot of fun, and I would love to see. I think all of these have some capacity to actually see the light of day, and if any of them do, I'd be floored. I'd be over the moon. If you enjoyed this video, go into the comments. Tell me that you enjoyed it, or tell me something that I should do next. Tell me what your like hot take prediction for this set will be. Hit the like and the subscribe. Share this with other people by liking the video, and by subscribing you can see the next thing that I put out. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.